We all know Angel Reese is connected with Reebok. We all know how tight her and Shaquille O'Neal are. This is just another example of Angel Reese's agent crushing it. The brand and its players will aim to create inspiring and engaging content that brings fans closer to the game and its rising stars, including Reebok athletes Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky, Lexi Brown of the Los Angeles Sparks.
Get him in. Free content Reebok. Sponsored by Reebok.
Sponsored by Reebok. This message is
Angel Reese suing Caitlin Clark? That headline already sounds dramatic, but the real story goes way beyond basketball. The question isn't just who's better on the court, it's why losing a couple of sponsorships pushed Reese into a courtroom battle.
Now, what exactly is that? The WNBA has announced a multi-year partnership with Reebok. Reebok athletes Angel Reese, Lexi Brown, and more will aim to create inspiring and engaging content that brings fans closer to the game. Reebok, one of Angel Reese's many sponsorships, making it official with the WNBA. Reebok, the irreverent and iconic sports culture brand, and the Women's National Basketball Association today announced a multi-year partnership, making the global sportswear giant an authorized footwear supplier for the league.
What would make a star known as the Bayou Barbie swap her glamorous image for legal paperwork? There's a bigger business war here, and it's about millions. Stick around, because this is not your typical sports beef. It's a story about power, money, and branding. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Imagine going from being draped in designer fits, flashing iced out jewelry, and stacking endorsement checks to suddenly sitting in front of lawyers with nothing but legal papers piled high in front of you.
I don't know too many names associated with Reebok other than Angel Reese, and that's just me being honest. Seriously. Seriously.
sponsored by Reebok. Put that shit on.
Yes, Lord.
And no, before we all jump down her throat, this was not an actual Reebok commercial. And then you see her on the commercials. You see her with the Reese's Puffs. Angel Reese and her agent doing things right when it comes to inking deals. I gotta be honest. When it comes to inking deals, they're doing things right.
That's the kind of shift people are talking about with Angel Reese right now. Only months ago, she had the full package: spotlight, style, and sponsors lining up to attach their products to her brand. On the court, she was tough, unapologetic, and louder than life. And off the court, she had this whole Bayou Barbie persona that fans and companies ate up. She made being bold look profitable. For a while, it seemed like the momentum couldn't slow down. That image, though, isn't something that lasts forever without problems. The bright pink branding, the modeling on social media, the connection to fashion and cosmetics, it was built to sell products just as much as her jump shots were made to win games. Reese had deals with beauty lines and skincare ads that wanted her look to pull in young fans. There were energy drink collabs designed around her energy and confidence. There was even talk of cutting a big deal with a startup in the crypto lane, where so many athletes were experimenting with branding.
And then I'll ask you, is this a good thing? Remember, we have players in the home run derby completely screw up their swing trying to just hit 20 home runs, 50 home runs in a 1 hour span. But in terms of actually what I'm practicing for right now, is this just Angel Reese? She's wearing her rose shirt, right? That is an Unraveled Basketball Club. Is this just her getting a certain type of game ready for the Unraveled Basketball League? We have people giving up the purest of swings that they've shown all season, going into the home run derby and ruining it.
On paper, she had a growing list of partnerships shaping up to make her one of the most marketable stars in women's basketball. Then all at once, some of that shine started slipping away. Brands that had once been eager stepped out of line. The skincare campaigns vanished quietly. The flashy drink collabs went cold. The crypto link, already risky in how unstable that market is, supposedly got pulled back before it was ever locked in. That doesn't just bruise the ego, it hits the bank account. hard. People close to the numbers estimated Reese lost out on opportunities worth hundreds of thousands, and some folks even tossed around figures that suggested she may have watched millions in potential exposure get washed away. When endorsement money makes up such a huge part of an athlete's financial picture, losing even a fraction of that comes with life-changing consequences. Here's where the shot really twists. While Angel was watching doors close, Caitlin Clark had the complete opposite experience. Her name alone started pushing jersey sales into record-breaking territory. Offers didn't just come her way, they came stacked with commas, multi-million-dollar packages that made her one of the most sought-after rookies in recent women's sports history. Just as Reese's profile got rocky, Clark's was peaking with brands publicly showing faith in turning her into the safe, proven investment. Think about what that means in the eyes of sponsors. They see Clark as a solid bet, someone who can sell tickets, move merchandise, and keep her image clear of major controversy. For Reese, every bold celebration or social media back and forth gets dissected as a possible risk. That's not just business math. It sparks questions about how differently athletes are judged. Is this about skill, image, race, gender dynamics, or just pure market bias? Nobody is saying it out loud in boardrooms, but the results paint a very sharp picture. And then you had that big headline-grabbing move when Ice Cube offered Caitlin Clark $5 million to join his league. That wasn't just an isolated deal, it was proof of how companies see Clark. If she brings that kind of return on one offer, where does that leave someone like Reese, who doesn't even get a seat at that table? Suddenly, it looked like Reese wasn't even in the same conversation, despite the fact that both women were some of the most talked about athletes in the game. Meanwhile, stories started circulating around Reese signing a luxury sneaker deal that priced kicks at $1,000 a pair. When rumors spread like that, even when nobody's sure if they're true, they change perception. Instead of her being seen as a stable, reliable partner, the talk around her brand made her look like a gamble. Sponsors don't like gambles, which only fueled the hesitation around her name. So the lawsuit showed up. It wasn't dropped like some petty rivalry aimed at Clark. It came across as a calculated step, an attempt to stop standing still while her market value slid away. By going legal, Reese put herself back into the spotlight, this time not just as an athlete or influencer, but as someone fighting to claim her stake in a business where athletes constantly have their image weighed and measured. This isn't just a messy headline, it's a legal war over millions, and more importantly, over how female stars are treated when the shine fades. This whole thing between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark isn't really about basketball skills. It's about image, money, and who corporations think can carry their brand on billboards and commercials. One player is treated as the safest option, the other is judged as risky. That's not just competition, it's business. So what do you think? Does this lawsuit show how unfair the sponsorship world can be? Or is it just proof that the system is harsh and unforgiving? If the real game isn't being played on hardwood but in meetings, how many more athletes end up fighting in court?